Hello there, Migot. How are you? Welcome to Atieno'S Success Leaves Clues. We are absolutely happy to have you on the show today. So, Migot, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Migot?
Thank you very much, Jackie. And I really appreciate the effort you put in this venture to be able to get some time to interview me. Okay, my name is Migot Ndede, and most of the people go by George. Okay, so when I started computer, I started way back in the actually mid-90s, okay, to do computer programming. And that was something I would accredit to my brothers. Okay, when my brother came one time home and then was talking to me about robotics. And I'm talking in the mid-90s, okay?
Oh, wow, that's
You know,
quite
so
impressive.
yeah, so I was still very young, and when he did that, and then he really kind of like got into me. So when
Right.
I finished high school, it was always like part of me. And then I had an opportunity to start doing computer programming
Right.
that early age, of course, after my A levels. Okay, so I did that, and then after some time, then I really wanted to keep on pumping. So I grew up from that, and then I got an opportunity to be able to teach at what I would probably call a vocational college in Kenya. And
Okay.
I taught in that college. I taught very basic computer programming and
Okay.
Pascal. So when I
Okay.
say basic, I mean basic, like beginners, all-purpose, symbolic instruction code.
Okay.
And then I also taught databases. They
Mm-hmm.
used to be like, um, we used to call that like database, like DB. And
Okay, yes, I remember
taught
that.
Lotus 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So I was teaching like very basic stuff to people who would call them like packages. So I also
Okay.
taught, I had a chance to teach Pascal. And the
Okay.
kind of Pascal, the dialect I used to teach was Turbo Pascal.
Okay.
So, and then that grew up, and I never gave up on it. The
Okay.
more I kept on doing it, the more it became very interesting to me. So I I had an opportunity to do C programming language when I
Okay, that's
came,
great.
when I decided to go back to school again, and that was like that basic C. C is at that time C was very old, like 40 years old, but it
Okay.
really intrigued me, and I knew the pointers. That was the hardest part, but I kept on pumping it.
Okay.
And then I realized that C is not enough, so I did C++. So when, of course, at the university, you do C and C++ because of the computer science track. So I did
Okay.
that part of it, and then in the same breath, I also went into do Java, because I
Okay.
mean,
That's
now this was now towards the late 90s. So we
okay.
were doing Java, doing C and C++, depending on what kind of course you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how I came to learn all these languages. And each and every language I learned, I was not living at the point whereby when the class is over, it's done with. No. I make sure that I take it to the next level whereby I can develop a project with it and be able to
That's
master
great.
it, and also going with the trends in the industry. So
Okay.
that's how I've been able to be able to keep up with what aspect of technology we have. So
That's
when
great.
C++ came along, of course, I took Pascal and the basic, I put them in the drawer and then I kept them there. And then came along Visual Basic. Now,
Okay.
when we talk of Visual Basic,
Mm-hmm.
we are talking of the same basic programming language, but now with the user interface. And I'm
There you
talking
go.
the period of Windows 95,
Okay.
Windows NT, and then, of course, Windows Millennium, which came but just went. So all these were like revolutionizing the world around the time when we really needed all that could put us together to be able to be up at the top, to even get a relevant job.
Right.
Yes. So that's how it came about. Yeah.
You know what I'm hearing from you, and I'll say for the tech gurus pretty much understand across the board what you're talking about when you talk about the various languages. I want to break it down to the non-tech guys. And to the non-tech guys, he states things are very basic. And to the non-tech, it's like, what's he talking about? That is hard work to us. So what we continue hearing about Migot is that he is a continuous learner. So even after classes, he went farther along and did projects. I wonder if the other students have the same amount of passion. I mean, I don't know, but I know that he had passion to go further with that. And I'll say he's definitely one who is continuously learning right now. So this then will take us then to the question about Migot. I know you offer free Python classes. I know that you have had an intake of over 300 students. How able to manage 100 students in one intake? Class and teach them how do you do that? It sounds crazy.
It's a big deal, actually. To be honest with you, I didn't could do it. But see, I used to offer very small learning, like classroom environments.
Right.
And I started I wanted people to be able to understand the AI, because the AI is a big deal. The machine learning and data science, those are big deals right now.
Migot, I'll ask what is AI to a non-techie. What is AI? They may not know.
Now, AI actually means artificial intelligence.
Thank you.
You know, the only intelligence we know is the human intelligence. We are up at the top of the intelligence ladder, if you were to look at it like that. And then if we make something intelligent, we don't make it naturally, that we make it artificially. Therefore, it's artificially intelligent.
Thank you.
And then we have the machines, which we create the machines, but we want to create a machine to be able to learn and then be able to adopt what we want to give it as data. And therefore,
absolutely,
it's machine learning.
Is that what they call machine learning right now? ML?
That's right.
So yes. AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, people. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, he's taught you how it works. Carry on, Migot.
So those actually interact. I would say some people use the terminology interchangeably, but when you really go down to it, it is a big difference. You know, machine learning depends on that data. We have to have the data for it to be able to even give you the accuracy what you are looking for. And then artificial intelligence is now the machine which you just made to learn from the data to actually be able to give you exactly what you need, but artificially intelligent, to be able to even predict the future.
So you teach the machine first, and then the machine becomes intelligent. So it's feeding into that so that the machine can think for itself, correct?
Exactly.
Perfect.
So artificial intelligence depends on the machine learning to be able to do what it does.
Perfect.
Now, machine learning depends on the data and the data science to be able to, because the garbage you give the machine, garbage you're going to get out. So you really need to be very intelligent to be able to give it the good, right data.
Oh, so you could actually make a stupid machine if you give it bad data. So good data in, very smart machine through machine learning. I mean, that bad data, good data in, machine learning, very smart machine. Bad data in, machine learning, it picks up, it learns, but stupid machine, that's your fault, right?
Yeah. So when it's stupid machine and it doesn't do anything good, you know,
it's
good,
you.
No good. It's gonna be all blamed on you. You cannot blame your machine, because computers they are very smart, but they only rely on what you give them.
Absolutely. So the data scientists have to have good data to be able then to feed the machine to get it to be smart.
Exactly. So when we get the data, we have to clean it up, make sure that it's making sense.
Okay.
When it makes sense, we give it to the machine. Machine will basically use it and learn it.
Okay. Is that what they call data cleansing at that point?
The data cleansing is the cleaning part.
Perfect. So today we've learned data cleansing. First of all, we've learned the data scientists who put in the data. The data has to be cleansed, so data cleansing. Then machine learning, what you give the machine, good or bad, garbage in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff out. And at this point, we're talking about artificial intelligence, correct? Am I talking about it right?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Carry on,
so at the top of the ladder is what we have as the AI, the machine intelligence. Following that is the machine learning. We make it learn fast before it become intelligent.
There you go.
At the bottom of that, we have to give you the data. That's going to be the data scientist.
There you go.
Once in, you clean it, make sure it's all good. You give it to the machine learning. Machine will learn it.
Right.
Okay. And then machine learn, give it to the artificial intelligence in order for it to make the right decision, for it to be intelligent.
Perfect. See, now I think I've got the free Python class from you. So let's get back to the free Python class and how you're able then to handle 300 students. Could you please give me the method of how you do it?
Exactly. So I would like to go back to the way it all started. I was very interested because people talk, and you can tell some of the people they misunderstand some of the terminologies. So I used to offer some classes. I think I did about 3 of them in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Correct. And then one day, 3 of my students, okay, I'm going to name names here. I believe
okay.
Ali, and I believe Ross M, and also Robert Maranga. They asked me, whatever I was teaching was a little bit on the higher side of understanding. So they asked me if it's okay. And that was from Ross. Is it okay? Because Ross was already in the industry. I mean, in the field doing that as a course. So she asked me, is there any way possible I could possibly offer this as a way of like going to the basics so they can understand Python programming? Right. And then I looked at that and then I said, that really makes sense. You know, Ali was very insisting on that. You know, I'd say, okay, I'll see what I can do. And then 2 weeks later, I went ahead and I decided I'm going to do this. You know, I mean, what is it going to cost me anyway? After all, right. You know, I just offer it for free. So I told him, I basically say, okay, we're going to start a Python introduction to programming, okay, right. Class. And then we put it out there, and then another person who took it was Jackie. Jackie took it, and then Jackie put it out there, and then another person who did is Michael Onyango, the former Kisumu County IT director, I believe, or Mweshimiwa called it, right? So they spread it out, and then we went to bed. When I woke up, the WhatsApp was already full. People were asking for extra space. So I knew this is
what is happening right now.
Yeah. So Meshach, remember Meshach?
Yes.
Amani. Meshach said, hey, man, this is something probably people can use. And then I said, look at it, I really did not know it's going to blow up like that. So we ended up creating three WhatsApp groups. And the
all of them full.
Yeah, actually we were 2. So we had 300 people in total. The first time, that was around September 2020.
Correct.
And then I told them, okay, I'm going to teach this and I'm going to make it very automated. So I use Google Classroom, I use WhatsApp, and then I use email addresses to facilitate this. And then that opened Pandora box of so many things to come. After about it was about 30 days. After 30 days, we were able to get like what direction people were taking.
Absolutely right. Were they serious? Were they not?
Exactly. So we were able to graduate some students who are very good, and they came back and they proceed to the next level.
Right.
And then we did that. And then I said, maybe we need to try another, maybe 30 days wasn't enough.
Right.
So I offered another class, Introductory to Python Programming. This time around, the first time we had 300. This time around, we had 600 students. So we created 3 WhatsApp groups. Okay. And then this time around, the programming was going for 40 days.
There you go.
We went through, and then at the end of it, you know, as people are busy, I understand that, but not everybody finished. But whoever came in, we still count them as a student.
Absolutely. Some did something, some did nothing, some got halfway, some got 3/4 way, and others got to the end, just as with life.
Yes. So this provided direction for some people, and then the word came to other people. So people join, everybody trying to ask, when's the next class going to start?
I
So
remember that.
I was very reluctant because I got so busy. But I say, okay, we can do it again because I mean, most of the things I've already automated them.
Right.
Right now, we're offering a class which is starting on the 1st of April.
Correct.
And we have about 160 students.
Absolutely.
Okay?
April 1st, 2021.
Yeah. So we just tweaked a little bit, so we make it a little bit very restrictive. And you know, our people, they don't have strict stuff. So I understand that part too. So, but still we get 160 students who are already
right
in, and they have their notes
ready to
and
go.
Yeah. So
and sorry, go ahead, Migot.
I'm sorry. So back to your point, the inspiration came from Ali, from Ross and Robert. And now they made it possible for these people because before that, I was under the assumption, which was a little bit not very fair on my side. I should have thought of like the basics. But those three made it possible for these other classes to be happening as we do right now.
You know what I believe, and then also just in divine intervention, because look, based on the numbers I'm hearing 1,000 people reached in regards to so far from last year, 2020, to September 2020 till now, I'm hearing approximately 1,000 people reached. So what is that telling me? It's telling us that Python is our skill that people are looking for. The shock of going to bed and coming back and finding WhatsApp groups full and you have to create another one and that gets full and then a third one. Python is, and tech is the future. I mean, you know, machine learning, artificial intelligence, that is the future. Programming languages and always continuously educating yourself is key. So you were not, I believe, supposed to offer your 3 initial students the basics. They were supposed to get confused and say, can you actually offer a class with the basics? What did this lead to? It led to from 3 to 1,000. How did Jesus feed the people with 5 fish and was it 2 loaves of bread? This is exactly what you did, because then you enabled so many people to get the option. Then you also did it free. You were not expecting so many people to come and you're like, oh my God, what else do I hear that was created? Automated systems. You're like, oh my God, okay, I have 300 students. I wasn't really thinking about that, but let's see what works. So what is this scalability? Whether you have 1 student or you have 1,000, they all can get information in Google Classroom. They will not feel neglected when they reach out to you and to the people that you're building. Then they're able to get the attention they need. What else was done? We created study groups so that your students could do their homework together. So we can talk about the kamkunjis. Would you like to touch on the kamkunjis for studying and how that goes?
Exactly. So when we first started the first class, I'm going to mention again names. Of course, Lucy will not disappear in my head.
Right.
You know, Lucy, Jackie, you created the groups, and Lucy were among the few people who joined your kamkunji.
Right.
And at that time, we were not even calling them kamkunji; they were just study groups.
Study groups, yes.
So the people accessed those study groups, and they were able to help people to learn. You know, when you do learn together, it kind of like sticks. And that was very helpful. That was the first cohort in September. After 30 days, then we took a break, and then we started another one in November. Right. And then the one in November, now I was able to even bring Lucy back and bring other people who I thought were very relevant to that. Of course, all along, Jackie, you've stuck with us and you've been very, very supportive and helpful. And that made it possible for people not to get lost in the translation, you know? So again, just remember, Python is a new language to most people, but the good thing, Python is very, very easy to understand. Right. All you need is just put a little bit of an effort and then some level of just making sure that they do their homework and then they ask questions, the relevant questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the kamkunjis make it go such a long way because the students are having most probably the same problems, or they're coming with talent from one area, another student has talent from another area, and then they're able then to do the homework, you know, together and build. And it also builds communication because many of them do not necessarily know each other. I mean, some do, but if you're doing homework with somebody you never knew and then you're on the same page about Python, you never know where in this life you'll end up because you're studying the same language. So you never know. Same industry, same company, same something, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now going to ask you about once they are done, once they passed, once they finished basic Python. Tell me about the next steps. Where did they go? What does that look like?
So what I did, I mean, based on my past experience, I've always known that you can be in a class, but if you don't do your homework, you don't do the assignments, you don't do the quizzes, you don't do the test, you're good for nothing.
Right.
Okay? So I give the assignment and I look at the performance. I give the tests and I look at the performance. And I also give the quizzes and I look, all these are being graded and I receive an email. Okay. So I was able to pick up Monica and Lucy. Okay. After the first cohort. So they joined my advanced class because they passed good in, they really did very well to be able to join in. And of course, Robert Maranga was part of that. And they joined my first cohort, but the advanced level.
Right.
And the advanced level is in addition to just basic Python, and now introduce them to data science, introduce them to machine learning, and then introduce them to AI, artificial intelligence. Just remember, they come in that stage.
Right.
First of all, you have the data. The data is no use of you. I mean, it's no use of anything unless you make it into machine learning. I mean, you just clean it and then you give it to the machine. Machine will learn that data. And then when the data is good, the machine will be able to pass it over for the machine to be artificially intelligent. So Monica, Lucy, and Robert, they joined. And we had a 3-month course in data science. And that was a very good, what I would probably call like a data point. I was able to learn from what they could do.
Right.
Based on what they could put in and then get out of it. And they performed very well, you know.
Great.
They did very well. And that was going to be like almost a textbook of what's going to happen in the future.
Yes. I hear you. Yeah. That's great, Migot, and how it all started. I know there's an advanced class going on with very enthusiastic students now, and I cannot wait for the ones who are going to join this free Python class in April 2021. We want to see them also in the advanced class. I wanted to just say thank you, Migot, so much for giving back to the society, for caring so much just based on your start, and you wanted to give back to get people at least their interest piqued and for them to know something in Python and then figure out if they're interested then to go further, that then they want to, you know, go the advanced route. So Migot, I'm going to ask you to give me your parting shots. Where, one, can you be reached? And two, so we'll start with your parting shot. What do you want to tell society? And two, where can you be reached?
Okay, so thank you again for that question, Jackie. What I would probably say, if you want to do something so bad, keep on doing it. Don't be discouraged by any failure. Okay, failure means that's almost human, but it does not mean that you have to stop and then give up. Failure means that you need to try a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah. So that's exactly what have really driven us in this path to programming in Python. A good programmer will always not get the program right the first time.
Okay.
The program will most likely not run, maybe because of a comma or a full stop or some kind of bracket or just bad spelling you did. But you have to look at the program and look at line by line, try to do what I call surgical incision into it. Look by line, see what's coming out of it. And that's what I would probably ask everybody to try if they can do. Don't jump up and think that it's already failed, so you really don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Sometimes you want to try more, try different, give it different dimensions. Okay. Right. And that happened to be very helpful in programming. The first program which runs without any error, be very suspicious about it.
Okay.
Probably
Something's about to blow up.
yeah, that something might be wrong, or if it's not wrong, then try to go surgically look at it and then see what really needs to be done differently. Okay. Don't be satisfied just because it's running. How can you make
Right.
it? You always want to go for the perfection.
Okay,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, definitely as a programmer, because if you don't go for perfection, something's gonna break down the road anyway.
Exactly. So this idea of like you think the program is not working and therefore you're gonna give it up and all that. No. There's one thing I call Lady Google.
Right. Lady Google should be your friend, your
Lady
best
Google
friend.
is gonna be your best friend. Just ask her. She'll probably give you some. If you can copy and paste, you should be able to copy and paste and put on Lady Google. Somebody somewhere probably got the same error before you.
Right.
And they came back with a solution.
Right.
Yeah. So you want to look at left, right, center, top, bottom.
Absolutely.
If for some reason it doesn't work for you that way, you probably want to look, hey, who else is doing the same thing like me? So you wanna belong to some groups, like join Stack Overflow. Be part of that community.
Right.
You know, if it's in Python, if it's in C, if it's C++, if it whatever they're doing, you know, if it's in the database area, if it's in C#, if it's in Java, they are all there. You just have to reach out and ask the question.
There you go.
The fact that you don't get an answer does not mean that nobody likes it. You probably were ahead of everybody, and that's a good feeling. Hey, look,
that's a great thing. So what I'm hearing then is if anyone is trying to learn Python as just a language or just be a developer at the end of the day, there are several forums out there that would be able then to assist them. And also Lady Google is their friend based on the fact that someone most probably has had that error. And if they can just join all the forums, some forums that would support them grow, then that's what it is that they would have to do, correct?
Exactly. And that has worked for me most of the time. I mean, I've worked in so many other areas, industry and companies.
Right.
We still Google.
There you go, right.
We still Google with all the experience we have. Sometimes we even have our own small kamukunji, you know, like you can, it's not gonna be a sin to say, man, I tried, it didn't work for me.
Right.
You know, it's okay. It's okay to say it didn't work for me, but hey, do you have an opinion on this? Like, do you have any direction you can point me to?
Right.
You know? Somebody somewhere will tell you, man, I did that before. It gave me the same error. But look, this what helped me out. So you see, we are already exchanging knowledge.
There you go. Yes.
But just other than just keeping quiet, you think like, hey, these people look at me like I'm not smart enough.
So you say always ask. I mean, do your best, of course, and try to get things work, but always open your mouth and ask questions, correct?
Yeah. And let me tell you one thing. The corporate, I'm in America, the corporate America, most of the program solutions, some of them, if not all of them, but pretty much a lot of them, you get solution on Google or Stack Overflow to be specific.
Okay, there you go. So there are tips of where people can get their answers if they have any questions.
Exactly. So you just have to know how to ask. You have to know how to
ask intelligent questions. You will get intelligent answers.
Yeah, don't jump around. Try to hit left. If you miss, hit right. If you miss, try center. If you miss, try top or bottom. Now, if you're really completely stuck, then you go with an intelligent question to ask.
Got you.
When you ask, you will be definitely getting an answer. If you don't, then keep on pounding. They are not only Stack Overflow, but there will be some other places too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Migot, how can you be reached?
I don't know what I mean. You can reach me whichever way you want, but by email, okay. You can reach me at George, okay, .ndede at WXN, like W as in Walter, X as in X-ray, and then N as in Nancy, at solutions.com. So it's g.ndede at wxn@solutions.com. I'm also active on GitHub. You can just look me up using my first and last name, Migot Ndede. Okay, I will be available there. And also, just send me an email. You know,
There you go.
I'm one of those people who I don't unleash anything. Just come get me if you want to. So I'm available. Yeah.
Perfect. So you guys have heard how you can reach out to Migot. Wonderful, wonderful individual, great developer, great tutor, great mentor. So Atieno'S Success Leaves Clues wants to say thank you so much for taking this interview. Migot, thank you so much for the information, and thank you so much for caring enough about society to be able to offer them a part of you. So with that, we're gonna say goodbye. Have a great one, Migot.